Peter McGauran, there was a big announcement during the week about the $5 billion and the Rosehill vote. It's a very interesting time ahead and you're at the centre of it.
Certainly. The proposal to members is to sell Rosehill for $5 billion to the state government. So it's not a valuation, it's not guesswork, it is a firm price. And that makes it easier for members to assess the price, $5 billion, against what the money will be spent on and what effect it will have on the club and on racing in the years to come. We've simplified it, if you like.
We've seen a lot of those details about Randwick, Warwick Farm and Canterbury, what money will be spent. I understand we're talking about a figure very close to $2 billion along those lines, and including what the new racecourse will cost?
Indeed. So approximately over a 10-year build, and it's a decade-long project because it involves multiple sites, numerous infrastructure builds, will be about $1.9 billion by 10 years value, leaving us with some $3 billion to invest as non-wagering income, which we have to do. Any race club dependent on wholly and solely on wagering is vulnerable into the future. It's going down inevitably year in, year out, and we have to secure the future. Many of our training and racing and members' facilities are tired and worn and require hundreds of millions of dollars investment, particularly to make them relevant to the next generation of members and young people. We're bringing young people to the racetracks on festival days, such as the Everest and the Championships, but we're not translating that into ongoing commitment amongst more than a small minority.
No doubt that affects how you're going to spend the money. We've seen some indications about what it will be spent on at those existing tracks. What are the major points that you're impressed with there?
Well, it's very important that Royal Randwick reach its full potential as a training centre. So we'll have 350 new stables along the 1600 metre mark, and we can transition trainers there and bring in new trainers. We can also do up stables around Randwick that are now at the point, in some instances, of end of life. But importantly, we do all the training tracks, both at Warwick Farm and at Royal Randwick. There's multiple training tracks. The big three issues trainers repeatedly impress on us are, firstly, training tracks, making sure they support the longevity of horses and risk any injury and de-risk any injury to horses. Secondly, stabling. Many of the stables were built on a British model. They don't have the proper ventilation, the proper size, and are expensive to maintain. And thirdly, owners' costs. We subsidise trainers in metropolitan areas $8.5 million a year. So the ATC takes its responsibility to owners very seriously, and we do subsidise them, but there's so much more we could be doing to reduce the costs for owners in regard to nominations, in regard to acceptances, trial fees, and so on. Once we secure a $5 billion payment from the state government, then we take the ideas of members, owners, trainers, jockeys, and the racing public. They'll have concepts and input that we would not even have thought of. It's very exciting. We can reshape and revitalise our future and secure it for the younger trainers especially.
Regarding changes to Warwick Farm, there's been suggestions that course will become a Group 1 venue again on Saturdays. What can you tell us about that?
Certainly. We raise it to the ground. We reshape the course entirely. We don't patch it up. It will be all grandstands, all existing tracks will go, and we turn that into a Group 1. It's been shameful, the neglect of Warwick Farm over decades. You can't pinpoint one period or one ATC committee wholly responsible for it. But what a wasted asset. It's picturesque, it's in Western Sydney, and it's sufficiently large to become a major world-class racing and training centre.
I understand you can't say too much about potential purchases of land where you might build a new racetrack, but obviously the members would like to know as much information before the vote as they can get on what a new course might look like and where. Do you think you'll be able to furnish them with some more info?
Well, for commercial reasons, I just can't conduct land negotiations in public. We have sites in mind. I have a particularly preferred site that is of sufficient size and quality and proximity to replace Rosehill. but we will have a new Group 1 race course in place of Rose Hill. It's all about seizing the future for ourselves. Racing will become a niche sport. It once had mass appeal and was deeply embedded in the culture. And sure, racing will attract people like me who's happy with a pie and a beer and a form guide, but it's not attracting the young people. And we're not making it financially viable enough for young trainers, and our facilities are inadequate for the future.
You talk to members of all ages, obviously young and old. What do you hear from them in terms of what they want from a racecourse and what they want from racing wider?
Well, many of them are like me. They're happy with our facilities. They're used to them. They enjoy them. They've got their own areas, develop their own lifelong habits. That's fine. But we're looking to the future, and what we have now is not going to attract enough people as members. And frankly, the ATC should have more than 11,500 members, and it's been flatlined on 11,500 for more than a decade. And it's because people outside of racing, to be attracted into the sport, demand more for their subscription and the like. I can't predict the vote. What I know is it's clear now there's no way the committee or the board of the ATC could have made this decision. I hope people appreciate, because some of it's got personal, that it had to go to members. Only members can decide on an offer of $5 billion, which the Premier during the week acknowledged was a reasonable sum to start the negotiations on. But we can't go below $5 billion. If it's not $5 billion voted on by the members, there will be no sale.
How do you think you'd best impress upon the members the importance of going ahead with this?
By encourage them to have the courage and the wisdom to build for the future, to secure our future, and to take account of the headwinds. It's clear wagering is declining, it's clear crowds are declining, and it's clear costs are becoming almost unaffordable for many owners. Let's address them, and we can do it if we have $3 billion after spending everything on members' facilities, grandstands, training tracks, new racecourse. We'll have $3 billion left. It goes into an endowment future fund, and we can draw down on that and build while still building it. That will put us in the position of great privilege and sustainability.
Are you confident of getting the vote over the line?
I'm confident members have all the information to make an informed decision, but I never predict the outcome of elections, to be honest.